And there's Jen and Danielle. Hi, guys. Sorry, I just switched it to the bigger view so now I can see you all.
That's okay. We're good.
Awesome. Well, welcome to our Monday night call. I am super pumped tonight about this getting together because I feel like I've been having the same conversation with so many of you. So this is a really good time to kind of pull it all together. And just by a show of hands, and if you're calling in, maybe you can just say yes or no, but were you able to listen to that call that I passed down on Voxer today?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Most of you. Okay. Awesome. And those of you who haven't heard it, I'll keep it up there. I'll see if I can post it to our Facebook page so you can hear it there too. But I just thought that was such a poignant discussion. It was like, what, a 2-minute message? And I got so much out of that. Basically what it was this gal, Mariah, and her husband who have fast-tracked to QNMD, which is the level below National Marketing Director, in only a year and a half. So super fast, very much like Danielle built her business, and they just went for it, and they were super coachable. They had such a can-do kind of an attitude about the whole thing, and just took the steps and followed the system, and they're building an incredible business together. So it was just a really great piece of advice from them. And I took away a couple of things. Was there anything that stood out to anybody that you want to share that did listen to it earlier? Anything just like, sometimes we have those lightning bolt moments. Because if you do want to pop in here, I'd love to hear from you too.
Melissa, I listened, and one of the things that stood out to me is they kind of were like, we didn't harp on people who were like no's. They just moved on to the next. They were like, okay, on to the next.
I think she called them low-hanging fruit, right?
Yeah.
I love that. I was like, that was such a great picture, right? So basically her point was, they didn't take it personally when people said no or not now or whatever. And they didn't hang out like circling and hovering around those people either. They just said no problem. And they went searching for the people who were ready to make a change in their life. And I love, Danielle, I think you mentioned it earlier today in one of our leadership chat calls where you were saying, a lot of your messaging is around, you're just searching for people who are looking and ready to make a change in their life. You're not looking to help, because there's lots of people obviously in our world that need to make changes, but it's not really up to us to decide the timing on that, is it? Right? That's really 100% in their court. And so our goals need to be tied into, one, what we want to achieve, but as we build those goals and the activity sets around that, we can put parameters on our own behavior, but we can't put that on other people. And so that's a really important lesson to take with us as we build a business, because a lot of the promotions that we go for in this business depend on people, right? They depend on the performance of others. They depend on a certain number of people saying yes to something. And it can be confusing. You're like, how do I not put expectations on that? Or how do I not put pressure in that situation? But the idea is there's safety in numbers. And so, hi, Gabby. Okay, keep going. Keep going. She's peeking in my window. Sorry. I'll see her around the corner. I locked my office door, so she ran around the corner to go get my attention that way. Kids. Okay, so my point tonight, so I want to talk about a couple of things, and I hope that you have a pen and pencil ready, because I thought it'd be kind of fun to go through some of this stuff and then get off the call with like a call to action, okay? So everybody is in a space where either one, I'll ask the questions. I was going to kind of do this later, but I'll do it now. First of all, who had the perfect business day that you've ever had? Everything went exactly the way you expected it to go today. You planned out your week accordingly, and you walked right into Monday, and it all happened just like that. Anybody?
Nope.
No. So my point, right, is that, and I had to this just hit me between the eyes from my 6-year-old, but it's true. Like, nothing happens perfectly in this business. Nothing happens perfectly in life, and therefore we shouldn't have those kind of expectations here either. What we need to do is just, loosen up on that sense of it, because sometimes we put these pictures in our head of how it has to look exactly this certain way, or we need exactly this to happen, or we go into a meeting expecting the person to say this or do this or whatever, right? And one thing that I have learned, and I learned it early on, is oftentimes the people that you think will, won't, and the people that you think won't, will. And it's very confusing. So I try to leave that open, open-ended for just, I guess, the possibility and the openness. And one of the things that I love that she said in this message today is she said, are you ready? Are you open, you know, to, and she didn't phrase it exactly this way, but what I wrote down was, are you open to receive? Right? Are you open to receive the gifts that are going to come that you're not expecting? Right? And are you open to receive the not nows so that you can go focus and shift somewhere else, you know, and spend your attention in some other place? And if you have some background noise, if you could just mute for right now, that would be great. I hear dishes or something. Okay. So the other thing that she went into this with was, that I wrote down. So working smart, not hard. That's a really important piece. I think a lot of people have the perception that at the top levels, you know, that we spend all day on our Juice Plus business. And I can tell you for certain, I mean, Chrisanne, Danielle, and I, like the three of us right here, right? We technically work this as our full-time income, but none of us work this as a full-time hours job. We don't put 40 plus hours into this. What we do is we're always prepared for the conversation to happen, you know? And that, I think, is something that we can all get better at, is just, you know, knowing that they're coming, putting it, I describe the business oftentimes as having like pictures in your pocket of your kids or your grandkids. And like, you know, you don't just walk out and show the pictures to everybody all the time, right? But if your interaction and you're talking to somebody and it comes up, you bring out the pictures when it's appropriate to share, right? Make sense? Same thing with the business. So always being prepared to share, but not necessarily like walking around with the Juice Plus neon sign, right? If that makes any sense. Okay. So working smarter, not harder. That also, you know, the preparation piece, it has mostly to do, and this is what we're going to spend the bulk of the conversation tonight on, with our calendar and our preparedness. It's so hard when we walk into a day and then we have some time scheduled, or there's an open set of time and we haven't filled it with what we need to do. And so usually what she said in this message was, they said they stopped getting ready. What did she wrote? They gave up getting ready to get ready, right? They let the dishes be what the dishes were. They focused on what needed to be done at the time that it needed to be done. They responded to the business as it was calling, kind of thing, right? And that's one of the reasons that they grew so fast, is because they put that on the forefront of their thinking. So knowing that there's always going to be, we all live super busy lives, you guys. It's just the day and age that we're in. If somebody's really bored and sitting at home, honestly, I don't think this is the right business for them, you know, because they're just not talking to enough people in their daily life, right? But if you're out there like living life, this is a great business. And the busier you are, frankly, the better you're going to do, because the less time you have to think about, you know, what to say or how to say it. You're just going to say it and get it out. Does that make any sense? And have you had experiences like that where you're like super busy in activity and all of a sudden like in life activity, and then things just pop in and conversations and reps and you're like, oh, wow. Okay. And you're just responding, right? Because what happens is people are responding to your energy. And especially if you're busy doing things that you like to do, it's hard when we're busy doing things that we don't like to do, because that shifts our demeanor, it shifts our facial expressions, it shifts our energy when we walk in a room, all those things. But if we're setting ourselves up for that positive interaction, we become like a magnet, you know, and it's such a cool thing, because then we start to attract not only the customers that are, you know, in search of something, right? Not the ones that are needy of it, but the ones that are in search of something. But we also start to find those team members, because good, healthy, strong team members, they want to be surrounded by people that are also good and fun and healthy and happy, and right? I mean, doesn't that make sense? Like Stephanie and I were talking about this the other day, right? We're like the community, like she's only like what, a couple weeks in the business really. And she's like, the community is going to be the best gift for this one person. And I was like, I'm so impressed that you saw that already, you know, but yes, like sometimes that's what they need. Or, you know, people come in and out of here for lots of different reasons, but for us to kind of like hold that flag and stand tall is really what, and just that being in preparedness, being ready and being open. So what I wanted to kind of do is hone in on some of the things that, one, the actions and the activities that are going to help you to be successful in those moments. That's first. And also really ask of you kind of one thing. If you're setting any kind of goal for yourself, and I really hope tonight everybody will walk off this call with it, challenging themselves to do something, right? And that could be a whole host of different things. It could be, oh, Mom, I see you're on here now. Welcome to the call. I didn't see you before. It could be a lot of things. Like it could be, you know, my mom is a great example. She's restarting her business. We've been through a lot of life in the last 2 years. Like she's kicking it off in a new environment with new people, you know, like so it could be something as simple as, I'm going to share my story 5 times this week. Right? I mean, it could be as simple as that. It could be, I'm going to re-engage and call my canceled customers and just touch base with them and see if maybe they're open to trying it again. Because a lot of times when people cancel and time goes by, they miss it, you know? It could be as simple as planning an event. I'm really proud. She's not on the phone tonight, but Tulia, you know, got up and planned an event, I know, recently. And I was so happy to hear that she was doing that because she's taking steps. And a lot of the times we use these events as reasons to talk to people. And it makes it so much easier. So if you've got something on your calendar, it's always like a great excuse to pick up the phone and say, hey, so-and-so, like, I don't know if you're around, you know, on the 5th, but you know what we're doing? We're putting together this really cool Tower Garden talk, and it's going to be amazing. And I know you had some questions about that and yada, yada. Do you have any friends you think might be interested? Right? And just open up the conversation that way. So my point is that you can use the anchors within the business to build your business, right? It's all the same stuff over and over again, but it's how we couple them together and how we utilize our time that keeps us moving forward. And one of the things that she said, you know, consistent daily activity is really what it took her to grow to that space. You know, maybe you're not in a space where your goals are as big as theirs were, but it really doesn't matter how big or how small they are. If you're teaching yourself and you're training your mind to say, okay, and especially for all the new people on the line, this is important because it's a new thing in your life, right? So how do we fit it in? So I might say to you, okay, I'm going to challenge you to take, you know, a 10-minute snippet each day, preferably in the beginning of the day. And in those 10 minutes, pencil out what you want to accomplish with your Juice Plus business by the time you go to bed, just for the day, right? So maybe, you know, for me, I know I have time on Wednesday, right? That's a typical good day for me to work. So I might say, okay, on Tuesday, I'm going to make a list of all the people that I want to call on Wednesday. You see how that preparedness is going to pay it forward into my calendar. And then because I have it scheduled in my calendar, I'll be able to make that happen. Right?
Yep.
So much of the time we wake up with the best intentions, you know, and this goes back to a little bit of Buffy's training, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We wake up with the best intentions and we blink and it's Friday. And we go, what happened to that week? It's gone.
Yep.
Poof, right? So like scheduling these little things, and it's as easy as putting a little reminder in your phone too, and just saying like, or if you know that there's a lull part of your day, like you, like maybe 2 or 3, like for me, I tend to between 4 and 5 need like a 10-minute breather. Like just, I separate myself from the kids. I'm like, okay, you guys go in here. I need like 10 minutes to myself to just think. Right after that 10-minute period is a great time for me to pop on social media, see if I missed anything, respond to people, you know, earmark things, that conversations that I want to have the next day or that kind of thing. But like right after that, because I'm rested, I'm focused, and then I can jump into making dinner and do the rest of the stuff that I need to do. But I just know that about my own behavior and my own rhythm, right? So paying attention to your own natural rhythm. A lot of people are really good in the morning and they need that quiet time first thing before anybody wakes up or anything happens. And that's their time to plan, to get organized, to make something happen, right? So, but it's in these little moments. And then what happens is as you start to sprinkle in these little things here and there, it's really interesting, but all of a sudden people start calling you. You know, the energy starts to go, the momentum starts to build. You start to, like, on accident, meet somebody in the supermarket who's super ready, eager, excited. You know, and you're like, did they just fall from the sky? What happened, right? But those things start to happen the more that you're in activity. So it's all about, again, the calendar and the intention, and then working that into small little snippets and little spaces. So any questions about that, or any comments or thoughts? This resonating with anybody?
Yeah. I think it's actually really great to think of it as just small snippets throughout the day, because I think what happens, especially for me, since I'm new, and I'm already an entrepreneur with a separate business, I think people get overwhelmed in their tasks, and the overwhelming feeling of, I need to get so many leads and I need to follow up. You sort of end up not doing anything. So breaking it down into just small, quick, easily manageable things allows you to still move forward and not feel like you've, you know, taken away from other things that also need to happen in the day while still building your business.
100% agree. Yeah. The other trick in this, you guys, is if you're going to do something once, do it 3 times. Because no matter what it is, if you're going to invite one person to an event, invite 2 more. Do it, group it in 3s. Your brain works really well in 3s always. And in addition to that, you get better by the 3rd try, you know, and sometimes you get a little like excited and you might do 5, but if you're going to do it once and take the effort to do something once, do it 3 times. Okay. So whether that's calling for, prospects, or if it's inviting to events, or if it's telling your story, whatever the challenge of the day is that you're challenging yourself with, do it in 3s. Okay. Okay. I love what she says here too. She said, do you believe really? And this is kind of a call you out moment, for everybody, but do you believe really that you can do it? Right? Whatever that goal is. And if you saw my post over the weekend, I thought this message came down so timely, but it all starts with that, and a lot of us, I think we get started, we get excited, and then we freak out because we're like, oh, I don't know if I can really do that, or whatever it is. And Jen's laughing. Right though? I mean, it's human nature. We kind of do those things, right? And so I just really want to challenge you guys, use us. If that's the space you're in, you pick up the phone, you pick up Voxer, and you go, I want this, but I am scared sleepless, or I want this so bad, but I'm frozen. I don't know what to do next. What's my next step? That's where we come in to help. It's just, sometimes it's so much easier to have the perspective of somebody else than to see it for yourself. And I do this all the time. I literally will take a step back, and I've trained myself over the years, but to be able to take a step back from my business, look at where I am and go, okay, this is really what I want, but what has to happen first? It's no joke. 39 Club is that is the golden brass ring for me, that's what I want. But what has to happen? What has to happen? There's things that have to happen. I have to go through an inventory of who's where, who wants what, see where we are as a team, see where we are with customers. Do we have any holes in the bucket? I got to plug those up there's a lot of things in the preparedness space that I have to do that are business building activities, but it's the consciousness, it's the awareness. I'm able to separate myself from the emotion of the goal to be able to go out and make a plan to achieve the goal. But a lot of times we, especially in the beginning, we don't know how to do that because it's new, right? So I just want to encourage you guys, hug on your upline. We are all here to support you through that building of the mindset and getting the actions into space so that your calendar can reflect the activity needed to reach what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. And then what was the last thing I had on hers? I love what she said about daring greatly, really finding the courage to dare greatly, because so much of the times I think we make goals based on what we think we can achieve, not necessarily what we want. And I really, really want to encourage you guys all to dream big here. This is a really safe space that we've created with a lot of love, and support. And you can do anything in this business. There are people making millions of dollars a year doing Juice Plus. Millions, literally millions. And every time I think of that, I think of what enabled them to think bigger than me? Really? Because it's all that it was. It's the same steps. We're all doing the same steps over time. But what allowed them to believe that they could, and just to go after something that was so much bigger, So I just want you to encourage yourself, whatever it is that you are wanting, or better question, whatever you're needing, quote unquote needing, because a lot of times money comes to what we need, inflate it by 10%, right? Give yourself a little extra, stretch it. Don't push too far past the lines, but give it a little extra so that it's encouraging enough. So it's a little bit out of that comfort zone to make you have to work just a little bit harder, right? To get to that space, or smarter. Next question is, how many people are actually working for a goal right now? And this is just a kind of a temperature read. I know, Stephanie, you're very clear in what you're looking for. Is there anybody else that has a very clear, specific goal in mind in their business that they're working for right now that they can measure and see how they're coming up against every day? Amanda, good. Jen, I saw your hand go up. Danielle, good. Chris Ann, is it measurable? And you're checking it daily to see how your progression's coming? Okay. That's the key. So I'm going to challenge everybody, if we can, if you're brave enough and you want to share, I encourage that because it opens the doors for other people and for this discussion to happen. But like for me, my biggest challenge in that reset process was, okay, I need to bring on 10 new frontline people, right? Just bring in some new people, start things up again, move in the activity, the momentum. I'm 4 in. Okay. So I'm 4 out of 6 right now. Is there anybody else that wants to share kind of what their goal is, or is there anybody that needs help establishing a goal? Because that's another thing that's important too. Yeah. I see Lisa, I see you shaking your head. Yeah. Okay. Unmute for a second, because this is good. Oh, wait. Yeah, there you are. Now we can hear you.
I have nowhere. I don't know what to do.
Okay. I love you for that so much. Yeah.
It's so overwhelmed, I guess, like the other young lady said. I'm so between everything that's been going on in life. I really want to do this. I really want to make it work. I really, really want to make this work because I know it can. I really believe in the product. I know where it's brought me from since I started it last year. And I just feel like I'm in a boat on the ocean without a rudder.
Okay. So let's try to find you a map tonight. And we're going to put a little co-pilot in there to help guide you. Okay. So I want you to walk off this call feeling like, okay, I have a destination in mind, right? And I have a direction and a map of how to get there. Would that feel good?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
And it's
good.
not Suzanne's or Danielle's fault. I'm just totally out there.
We've all been there. You know, honestly, we've all been there. When Francesca was born, my first child, I was like going so fast and so quick. And then all of a sudden I got pregnant, had this baby, and I was like, oh, how do I do this all? This is so different for me. And it took me a while to course correct, to figure it out, you know? And so what I'm saying to you is that's why I wanted to have this call, because I think there's a lot of people that we spend our day thinking about Juice Plus, you know? Right? We spend our day thinking about our business. We're like, oh, okay, all right. Or like thinking about the people that maybe we should call, or thinking about our customer care that maybe we should do. But there's a disconnect between the thoughts and the actions. And it's the actions in time that will get you the results, right? So it's a matter of pulling those down and kind of putting them to paper. So Lisa, if I could play this game with you just a little bit and thank you so much for being brave and for, you know, waving your hand. I so appreciate it. What position are you in right now?
Good question. I'm really new. I have one customer.
Dealer. Okay. A dealer. Okay, perfect. So we're starting from ground zero. This is great. This is so great. Okay. So, and Danielle, was it in the last like 30 days or so that she got a customer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So still working towards HLP.
Okay, perfect.
She's like really close to her HLP, like
one order.
Not many points away.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So we're working for the HLP, which is, just to explain. So when you first start out in the business, the first goal is your order plus 2 outside household orders. Okay. And we try to do that in a short, condensed time for the reason that the longer it goes, the more anxiety builds, frankly. I mean, it just, right? Am I right? We just go through it and we go, oh, okay, I got it done. That was great. And then all of a sudden there's something to celebrate, and it brings you so much like happiness and joy and confidence, right? And then it helps you springboard to the next phase. But it's also, here's another thing that's really great about it. Then you have something to talk about because you're excited. You know what I mean? So in that thinking about, you know, what to say to people or who to talk to or whatever, it kind of just usually comes out because you're like, I can't believe it. I already got my first promotion, you know, and we use social media to put it out there and some of these other things. Good night, Michelle. We love you. You know, and there's benefit to that, right? But so from the beginning, the idea is we want to help. First and foremost, we want to make your list. Okay, that's the first thing. And I always start this list with, and Stephanie's heard me say this 5 times now, who do I care enough about to share this experience with? That's a much different question than asking, who do I think will buy it? Right? We don't want to judge, because what I said in the beginning was who we think won't and who we think will, typically, right?
Right.
Okay. So who do I care enough about to share this experience with? and then we start writing names down. And I know one thing about Juice Plus Reps and pretty much everybody that's ever joined our team, we are heart-driven people.
Yes.
That's who we attract, right? We're not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not it's a beautiful business that's built extraordinarily well, and we help and serve so many people in the process of that, but it happens over time and consistency. And it's different than other things. So, we're not talking about lipsticks or leggings, right? We're talking about heart cells and brain cells and cancer cells and all that kind of stuff. So, so in that process, who are the first 3 people that come to mind when I ask that question? Everybody had them. Who do I care enough about to share this experience with?
My sister.
Okay.
My cousin. Well, actually 2 of my cousins, because they both had parents that passed from cancer.
Okay. So you want to write those people down. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the first 3 names on the list. Then you branch out from there. And it's not, there's going to be people in your life that need it, that are going through some physical things that need it. You want to put them kind of in a category. A lot of times those are the slower moving discussions. Okay. So just be prepared for that. The low-hanging fruit that she's talking about, those are people that are looking to make changes in their life. If you start to get curious about people and you start to engage with people and start asking them questions, and simple questions like, so how have you been lately? How are you feeling? People will tell you. They'll tell you right away. I feel good. I feel bad. I'm so tired. I'm whatever, they'll tell you almost instantly, right? And in those discussions, you can be writing names down, making mental notes and all that kind of stuff. You can also ask questions, just ask more questions and tell me more about that. If you ever get stuck in any conversation, you guys, you don't know what to say, just say, tell me more about that. It's the best thing because the person will just keep talking, and it's really great because then you're being an active listener, The mistake we make is when we're listening, but we're thinking so much about how to respond that we're not really listening.
Yes. Okay.
Right. I'm not picking on you here. I'm just talking in generalities, but those are the things, the skills that you're going to learn over time. So the benefit of having upline support, and the best tool we have is 3-way calls, is for this reason, because you can get them on the phone with Danielle or Chrisanne or myself, and we can model for you how to ask those questions, right? And you can actively listen and be a good friend.
Yep.
So the next pressing question is, so how do I get them on the phone, right? How do right? How do I get them on the phone? And it's as simple as, you listen and you hear and tell me more about that. Oh my gosh, it sounds like you're really in a space, right? Like are you looking for something? It sounds like you're in a space where maybe you're looking for something. And if they say yes to that, then you say, I don't know if this is for you or not, but one of the best things I can do for you is connect you with my friend and see if maybe she's got some advice or suggestions. I know that she's been working in the business for the last 5 years. She's got all this, knowledge and whatever. However you want to build up the person that you're connecting them with. Mm-hmm. And then you just ask, would you be open to letting me set that up? I think there could be some benefit there. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
The other thing for the newer people on the line is get to know our team members. It's really helpful to get to know our stories and follow each other on Facebook and comment under their things. When you start to get to know people, then you get to learn their stories, and then you can connect your people with resources that are going to help with them, right? Mm-hmm. So if I know that there's somebody that's, considering bariatric surgery, Maxine, I might reach out to you because I know that you've had that. Well, you're so sweet, but you've had that experience, right? And so to have somebody that can speak first person to something is so different, right, than just something else. So I'm just throwing out some of these ideas, but
that Revolution call was perfect.
Good.
It's a great source for anyone who has someone in their line who's considering bariatric, because it really fills in the blanks.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, so where I want to kind of end this with is, so Lisa, I would just get with Chrisanne tomorrow and go through that phase 1 sheet, and you guys can just go through it. It's as simple as we're getting a couple orders with the intention, and we want to think about some team members too, because they can come on early. And the people that I'm doing this with, I can shout out to Stephanie and Carolyn, who are really taking me up on this right now, but they're just so comfortable, and they both brought on team members in their first week. And that makes all the difference in the world. Yeah. Because a lot of times it's the afterthought. And when you do it in the beginning, it really holds you accountable to wanting to learn faster, because now you have a team member, right, to kind of be somewhat responsible for, right, Stephanie? Right. And so it's great. And it kind of gets you the ball rolling faster. So that would be my other piece of advice, is just be thinking about that team piece. And you don't have to know everything to bring them on. That's not what it's about. It's just inviting them to, again, engage in the experience, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So another piece of thought. All right. So with Danielle, is there anything that you want to add to this? I know we talked a little bit briefly earlier about stuff. Otherwise, I'm just going to.
No, I think it's all really good. And thank you, Lisa, for speaking up, because I don't want you to feel like just because you literally just started your business, that what you're thinking, else, you've been in the business for a year already,
right,
is not experiencing, because, maybe you've been doing this for a while too, and you think, well, like, everybody kind of knows that I'm doing this. Now what? We can always revisit, even myself, I can sit down and think, okay, certainly I've met new people in my life. And now in this phase, who do I really care enough about to share this experience with and go through the process all over again? And it's that consistency. And the more we kind of build in this consistency, like anything, like going to the gym and picking up weights and building a muscle, it's a muscle that you work on. And you just keep working on it over and over and over, even little by little. Those little things, those little steps over time form those habits, build those skills, that confidence that really help you move forward.
Totally. And putting time parameters on it, you guys, I think that it's important. Some people can look at those and feel like, oh my gosh, pressure or whatever. I don't want you to think of it like that. Think of it just as more, because you can always restart your business at any time. You never lose anything in our company. It's a company with a heart. They really, truly give you everything that you need and all the opportunity to get there. I don't ever want anybody thinking that, especially coming in off the street. The reason that we put time frames, especially in the beginning, is because you learn better faster. Okay. You just do. It's like going to a class, and you've heard me say this before, but if you're going to take a college course, you could take one class a night, a week for a year, or you could take like a 3-month intensive, right? You're going to learn so much more and remember so much more going through it faster, because your brain's holding on to it better. Does that make sense? So it's the same kind of thing. And that's the reason that they do it that way. So for all of you who are kind of gearing up, if you've completed your 2000 plus, which is most of you on the phone tonight, then I want you to look at what your next steps are. And it could be as simple, and this is where your pen and paper come, into play, is write down right now for yourself, what is my next, give yourself a goal this month or this week, break it down small. And I want us to get really good at that, because if we make these tangible goals, then we can build for the bigger ones. Does that make sense? I really think that we as a team need to get really good at resetting. We're so good at getting our 2000 plus done. Everybody does it, right? And then we start to build towards qualification, getting our business qualified. But something typically drops off right about there, unless you're totally gung-ho to get to sales coordinator, in which case you go. But for the rest of us, the bulk of the people on the call, I really want to help you guys break these things down. And I want, it could be as simple, if you haven't put on a new customer in the last 3 months, let's just say, because it happens, right? Then maybe this month you're going to add 3. And you're like, I'm going to focus on adding 3 customers, and I'm going to make my list. I'm going to go through the steps. I'm going to invite them to come to the Freedom Revolution call on Thursday night at 6:00, right? And I'm going to build in those little steps so that I can start building momentum back into my business. Start small and build up big, right? And then get with your upline and your sponsor, or put it on our Voxer chat, or put it somewhere where it's public, because that holds you accountable. It's when we hide our little goals in our head on a piece of paper in the bottom of our drawer of our desk, that they're not real. But if we take them, we put them up, and they're up on the wall, and I'm looking at mine right now, and you see that on a daily basis, and you're looking at it. Yep, Jen, I see your eyeballs. Not now, Gabs.
I was going to say that, Melissa, actually, could we take it, if you guys are willing to play, take it one step further, and on our team page, post what your goal is, whether you're chunking it down to, you're someone who needs a daily goal, or you need a week goal, or you're going to go for your April goal, and put it on there, because it is, as we know, this is a safe, loving team environment, right? We're here to all support each other. So accountability, sometimes people think accountability but let that be truly something where we can kind of love on you and lift you up, and just kind of do a little love touch, check in, and cheer each other on when, celebrate the wins when you did reach that goal. Like, how great does that feel? And if you don't, that's okay. Let's reset and refocus. Maybe we can tweak it. That's where your upline support can really come in and maybe help shape an appropriate goal for you.
And with that, that's a good point, Danielle, because it's in those conversations when we know what you want, it's so easy for us to see the playing field and say, okay, so that's a really awesome goal. Have you considered this? Or like our job is to kind of help you match the activity level that's going to make sure that you get it, right? Because it's one thing to say, I'm going to sign up 3 customers and you only talk to 3 people. Do you see? But if I'm going to sign up 3 customers, okay, so let's look at your track record and how much experience you have behind you. I always like to do the 3-way calls with the first 2 customers you get, Lisa, because that helps you build the confidence, get to use your upline, get familiar with that, and usually the first 2 people you call are people that you like and that know you well, right? Let's be real, we're going to pick up the call with somebody that's going to take the call from, right? And so that kind of helps, just the whole interaction and, all together. So when it comes to the goals, and we're going to end on this, is they need to be meaningful to you. Don't let them be something that, we can arbitrarily give you things to do, but that's not really our job. Our job is to find something that's meaningful to you. Yeah. So if it's like, I've never hosted a party, I'm terrified of hosting parties, I'm going to challenge myself to do one, right? Okay, great. Yeah, and that's going to be the goal, and that's going to be the goal. And we're going to help. You're going to partner with your upline and we're going to support you through the process of getting that done and scheduled. Okay. We're going to help you invite and teach you how to invite, because inviting to these events are different than inviting to a birthday party. It just works differently, right? And you want to borrow our skills until you build it yourself. And that's the beauty of this. Is that me? Sorry. It's that we're paying forward, the experience that we have to help benefit the team and benefit your growth. And it's a pay it forward kind of a business. Okay. So the second thing is, are they measurable? Can you measure them? If I'm setting the goal to have 1 party and 3 people at the party, that's measurable. I look at my calendar. Is there something scheduled on there? And can I track how many people are coming? Yes, you can, right? That's measurable. If I'm measuring 5 customers in a month, that's measurable. If I'm bringing on, for me, I'm looking for 6 new team members, right? I got 4 out of my 10. I'm looking for 6. So that's a measurable thing for me to refocus on. I kind of got distracted because we got a bunch and I'm working with them now to get their promotions done. And that's awesome. But I still have to hold myself accountable to my goals because I'm leading by example, right? Right. All your leaders out there. Okay. So is it measurable? Is it specific? Is it very clear? Is it just, I want to grow my paycheck this month, right? You get $1 more in your paycheck and that's growing it. So we need to be specific. Like, what exactly do you want? And then work out the how. Okay. And that's the point, is you don't need to know the how, lean on us for that. And the time, is there a specific time frame in mind? So I'm challenging everybody to do something in the month of April. It could be in the next week. It could be in the next 2 weeks. It could be you're setting weekly goals till the end of the month, or it could just be a monthly goal, whatever that is. But I really want to see you guys do that. And then, at the end of the day, what motivates you? Because that's different for everybody. I know that there's some people on this line that love to work out, and if they can't get to that workout class, then they're going to be bummed. So I challenge you, do your activity before your workout. Like, I'm not allowed to go to my workout class until I get this done. See how that works? Because then the momentum of getting you're like, I need to get to this class. Okay, fine, I'll pick up the phone and make the calls, right? Or I'll send out 5 text messages or whatever. What you do that. So those are the things you need to kind of cue in to be successful. And then at the end, how do you like to celebrate, and what do you like for rewards? Because that's the other thing that we really need to get good at as a team, is celebrating each other. And that's why we're challenging you to bring this to the communication tools. I love Facebook because it's on there and it's visual and all that. Voxer is really great for the questions and the interaction back and forth. But let's bring it to Facebook, to the JP Honeybees, page, and talk to each other there. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Let's do this together and have some fun. Yeah. Danielle, anything else you want to add in there?
No, let's go set some goals.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's all I had. Is there any other questions, or anybody want to stay on the line for a minute to help with that? I can certainly stay on if everybody wants to, whoever wants to get off can get off, and then
Well, I can end the recording if you'd like.
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah.